I think the appropriate action is they threw my complaint in the trash can. Okay, so as I told you, I have a number of cars. One of my favorites, my McLaren 720S, by the way, in Solis. I don't know if you've seen this color. It is just spectacular, especially in the sun. It's just begging to be pulled over. I was driving actually back from Sarasota, but not until I hit, and I flew across the alley, not until I hit 95 did I notice. I actually noticed a trooper, and it was raining at the time, and I saw her, so I backed off to 55, and then I just kind of creeped a little slower to get out of it because she was really driving at the limit. And then the rain stopped, and she was far enough behind me, so I went for it. I downshifted and just enjoyed the car. And then I look in my rear view, and I see her coming. And the one thing I don't do is make them chase me. They hate that. I saw her coming. I knew it was for me. I pulled over to the right and waited, and she pulled up behind me, knocked on the window, and the usual, what's your hurry? And I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, where's your mask? She's like, well, it's in the car. I said, do you mind putting it on? She goes, we don't have to, it's protocol. Passenger window, not required. I said, well, I've got some here. Would you like one? You're making me uncomfortable. I'm high risk, I'm older. I don't need to, sir. License, registration, insurance. I'm like, okay, I can see where this is headed. I gave her my license, I gave her the registration. My insurance is on my phone. And that's legal, by the way. Digital proof of insurance is allowed. And I show her my phone. I said, here's my insurance. She goes and grabs my phone. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No gloves? She's like, they're in the car. I said, would you like some gloves? I have a box. I don't even. So I'm like, this is great. Then she starts lecturing me about the evils of speed and the danger. And I responded with, what about the evils of you giving me a deadly fatal virus because you're not wearing a mask? I'll be right back, sir. She comes back. She actually gave me a ticket for careless driving because I was weaving in and out of traffic, which interestingly, obviously she didn't get a radar read on me or she would have given me a speeding ticket. But careless driving is very difficult for an officer to prove if you know how to defend them because they have to have something called a to-wit clause. In other words, you can't just say careless driving. You have to say careless driving, to-wit, tailgated a car which had to take evasive action, something like that. She wrote to-wit, weaving in and out of traffic. That in and of itself is not careless unless I endangered life, limb, or property of another. So I was actually looking forward to that trial because she would have had to say what lane I was in, what car was in front of me, what car I affected with my lane change. It would have been fun. But regardless, I was really upset about this whole mask thing. So I found out what troop she was with. It's on the ticket with her name and her badge number. I called her supervisor. So I'd like to file a complaint. I got pulled over by this trooper, and she came to the passenger side, knocked the window, stuck her head in my window, and asked me for my identification, refused to put on a mask. And I was very polite and offered her one, and she declined again. Now, we all know the federal guidelines, the CDC guidelines are 6 feet. I'm in a McLaren. I don't know if you sat in one, they're tight. I actually took out a tape measure and measured it's 26 inches from my mouth to the window. And she was in the window saying another 6 inches. So we're talking about 20 inches. I tell this to her supervisor, and he goes, you don't have to worry, sir. We test all our troopers every morning before the shift. I said, oh, really? What do you do? The rapid, the antigen, the antibody, the nasal, and you have a quick... He goes, no, we take the temperature. I said, you understand that's not a test, right? That she could be asymptomatic and still carry the virus. He goes, well, that's our protocol. No mask required on the passenger side. I said, well, I want to file a complaint. I'm really concerned. This is not, not just for me, but for the public at large, that they're walking around talking. They have contact with hundreds of people a day, and they're not taking precautions. And he goes, don't bother, because if you file a complaint, it's just going to come back to me, and we've already spoken. I said, well, I want to file a complaint against you as well, because you're not taking this very seriously. So he gave me the information, filed a complaint with Tallahassee. I got a call from a captain up in Tallahassee, and the first question he asked me, he said was, well, was she rude to you? I'm like, wait, do you not understand the nature of my complaint? I'm a big boy. She could be rude to me. I don't care. I just don't want to die of a deadly virus. He says, okay, we'll take it under advisement. A couple of weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. We've looked into your complaint. We've taken appropriate action. Whatever that means. I think the appropriate action is they threw my complaint in the trash can. But regardless, I'm still going to have my day in court. I'm so excited. Going to bring a court reporter, going to videotape it, and I already had my whole examination planned. I was going to spend an hour and a half on the dangers of COVID. I don't think we'd even get to my ticket, although I was prepared to fight it. Much to my despair, she didn't show up and my case got dismissed, which, I mean, I'm supposed to be happy my ticket got dismissed, but I really, really wanted my day in court in this one, and I didn't get it. I've had 34, 35 tickets that I've won, and I had one that I was 100% right on. The trooper had written the wrong statute, and the law says that the only time he can amend to fix it is with permission of the court in open court. And instead, he just changed it and mailed it to me. It was in one of the more redneck counties, I'm not going to mention, in Florida, and where the judges and the troopers, they see each other every day, and and I said, Judge, move to dismiss, improper amendment. Here's the rule, Traffic Court Rule 6.350. An officer cannot amend a ticket except in open court with permission of the judge. He just mailed it to me. And the judge goes, well, you're on notice. You know what you did. Denied. So then the trooper starts testifying, and I go through all my things. His radar docs were wrong. He didn't do anything right. So the judge goes, Trooper Smith, how long have you been doing this? And it wasn't Trooper Smith, by the way. It was, okay. How long have you been doing this? He goes, 25 years. And during this time, have you developed an ability to determine how fast someone's going without any of this equipment? Absolutely, sir. Objection, foundation, object. Can I voir dire the witness, Judge? No, you may not. Because usually when we have this, what we do is we say, do you have your radar equipment outside? Yeah? All right, let's go outside. Let's have someone else operate it, and you guess the speed of the car. Let's see how really good you are. But he wouldn't let me do that. So how fast was he going? I don't remember what it was, 98, whatever, 100. Guilty. I file an appeal. An appeal in county court goes to circuit court, which is the judge that sits next to him in the next room that he goes to lunch with and plays golf with. So appeal denied. To appeal it to the next level, which is where you get a fair trial, which is the district court, that's called discretionary. It's not automatic. So I filed a discretionary appeal, and they denied it. Basically, we don't have time for your nonsense, they said. So yes, I have a ticket.
Now obviously at VinWiki we love all of our sponsors, but first amongst equals would certainly be Auto Tempest. Not only have they supported the channel for the last 3 years, but they've made some of our favorite projects possible, like Car Trek. It is honestly the first place that I look when I'm going to look for my next car, so these days that's about every morning. So we love Auto Tempest, and it does make it easier than ever to find your dream car. They compile all the major listings from all the major sites into one easy search. Their motto is all the cars, one search, and it certainly is a great tool for that. So be sure to check them out at the link in the description below and thank them for their continued support of VinWiki.